I am your host of Across Generations, Tiffany D. Cross, and this is the only place where you will hear 3 different perspectives from 3 distinct generations of Black women, and I'm so thrilled to invite you to this conversation. Hi, everybody. My name is Tiffany Cross, and I'm your host of Across Generations. Okay, so I have to be honest. One of my least favorite topics of conversation on this show is anything to do with dating. It's just that I get exhausted with the subject popping up in any of my social media feeds with these so-called experts giving advice that more often than not, they're not really qualified to give. But there must be something to it because lots of people have thoughts, opinions, and most importantly for today's show, quests. Everybody wants somebody. And in the United States, 71% of adult Black women and 64% of Black men are not married. Yet a lot of y'all out there are looking for love. Well, I was surprised to learn about this age-old dating profession that has apparently re-emerged as an efficient, although lesser known, alternative to swiping right, and that's matchmaking. So we're going to discuss that today because I have a lot of questions about what qualifies one to do this, how does this work, and I have 2 ladies who are here to help me sift through it. So today we are excited to welcome to the show Kelli Fisher and Tana Gilmore, nationally recognized certified matchmakers, authors, and relationship coaches. Now, they specialize in helping professional singles find love by combining modern matchmaking techniques with time-tested relationship advice. Their work has empowered countless couples, individuals to discover meaningful connections, and we're thrilled to have them on Across Generations to discuss the generational differences in love and dating and all my silly questions, ladies. I'm so happy to have you both here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
I'm really happy you guys are here. So just so you guys know, before the show, we were chatting because we have a FAMU alum here. So for all you rattlers out there, yes. I know y'all will want me to say that. So I'm saying that
FAMU represents.
Yes. I'm so thrilled to have you guys here. One of the things, though, that you heard me say in the intro, I get so frustrated with all these people who say something looking wantonly in the camera with slow music over it, giving advice and calling themselves coaches. And everybody calls themselves a coach. But what qualifies one to do this? What qualifies you guys to do this? Draw for me the distinction between you guys and anybody with a microphone on Instagram.
Wow, there's so many things that qualify us. I think one is life experience. So I think we started with that. And also the fact that Tana and I both had our own individual struggles and in dating, and people kind of watched our journeys and watched our relationship struggles and how we came back. And then we're certified life coaches, certified relationship coaches. And then we also started our own matchmaking school called Love Pro University, where now we certify matchmakers and coaches to do what we do, but really more in the space of people of color.
Well, what goes into getting certified? Yeah. What does that mean?
So it's interesting because once Kelli and I had our own struggles, but in our own individual relationships, we decided, we're really good at this. People started to come to us for advice. So we went through a certification school, World Coach Institute, to be certified in life coaching. I mean, I think that there's life in relationships, right? So we certified in life coaching and then relationship coaching, and then coupled that with date coaching. And then once we started to help so many women, they were like, we would love to meet somebody now that I'm feeling better, now that I'm empowered and I'm my best self. Who do you all have to introduce me to? People were like, no, we don't have anybody, but that's a line item that we can do. So then we flew to New York and we became credentialed with the Matchmaking Institute. Global Love Institute is what it's called now. And then so it's, it took us a while to get we wanted to step out with the right credentials to say that, we're certified to do this. Not only that, but like Kelli said, we have the life experiences to back us up as well.
But what is specifically in the certification process? What is something that they're arming, like a tool? You guys both have undergraduate and I think graduate degrees. Yes. So there are things that you learn that you took away in school. I'm just curious, the certification process, what is the scientific method or something that they're teaching you?
Yeah, so I would say that with coaching, though, in any coaching program, you are not a therapist. You help someone start from where they are and arrive into where they're going. So you help them uncover what it is that they need. So, a lot of open-ended questions, a lot of probing questions. So you learn questioning, powerful questioning. So you learn that technique, and you learn listening skills, showing empathy and compassion and those types of things, just to be able to better relate with somebody as they're sitting in front of you or across from you or wherever. And so those are some of the skills that you learn with coaching.
Yeah,
So
and I think it's, I was going to say also with matchmaking though. So coaching, and then we segue into matchmaking. So we're, blending lifestyles. We're saying, okay, where are you today, but where do you want to be in the future? And kind of matching all of those things. So hobbies, lifestyles, do you want children? Do you not? Do you want to be married? All of those things. So it's not just, hey, let me just put two single people together, which I think a lot of people, even, at the holidays or something, somebody might say, hey, you're single, let me just put you together. But that's not the same. I mean, you're really trying to match for long-term success, which is our culture for our business.
Yeah, we have our clients come in and say, you know what? Paint us a picture of how you envision your life to look, right? And we pride ourselves in our agency is giving them more of what they need versus what they want. Because a lot of times you think that, oh, I want this, this, and this, and this, but that's not necessarily what you may need. You think that, oh gosh, I've envisioned my partner to look like this, to be this way, but that isn't going to work for you long term. So let us help you uncover what that looks like, paint a picture of it, and then find someone that matches the same end goal. So that's what it is. It is a science behind it. Even though love is not an exact science, because you're dealing with emotions and feelings and all of that, right? But there is a science of how you partner somebody for compatibility. We can't control chemistry though. Compatibility, we got that on lock.
Yeah. I noticed both you guys are married.
Yes.
Yes.
Recently married though.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, thank you. 1 year in.
Did you employ the tactics that you give your clients in your own search and romance?
Yeah, well, it's funny because we always, I guess, in a lot of different industries, a lot of times you're the worst person. Like, so we can be a financial consultant or whatever. Most of the time, their money is not right. But the same thing with matchmaking, and Tana would be like, "Oh, do this, do that." But it's so funny. I ended up matching myself, so I ended up reconnecting with someone on Facebook, and we went to college together and made my own match.
Really?
So
Is that right?
So he's in Detroit. It was kind of on our show, Love Match Atlanta on Bravo. But yeah, so he was in Detroit, I was in Atlanta, and then we did the long distance thing for many years, and then we got married last year, and I moved to Detroit, but our headquarters is still in Atlanta.
So you slid in the DMs.
Slid in the DM all the way. I was like, hey.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I know a few people who have connected.
People don't. I don't know why people don't do that. I mean, you're already connected. You have connections. You can, kind of fact check. At that point, so I don't know why people don't even just use DMs and social media.
It's like a warm introduction. It's like a warm introduction. That's all it is. Yeah.
What is the average age of somebody who comes to you?
I would say so our demographic is primarily women, successful, affluent, anywhere between, I would say historically, it's been about 35 to 55, but we've been seeing them younger lately.
Really?
Yeah, which is a twist in the trend, right? So they're realizing at a much younger age that I really struggle in this area. I really need some support and some help. So let me seek matchmakers or professionals.
What's the specific service that they're coming to you for? Like, are you just making the intro and then you're out?
No, we don't do that.
No.
Okay. They come to us for matchmaking. Everybody that probably comes to us, no one really comes to us every once in a while and say, you know what? I think I need some date coaching. They don't feel like they need it. Just find me this person. This is what he looks like. This is what he makes. This is how tall he is. Find me this man. Let me slide you this check. And poof. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't. But the way that our business works is that everybody that goes through our program has to endure coaching with us, because it's a disservice for us to sit you across the table from someone and you don't have any conflict resolution, you don't have any communication skills, you can't even transition the relationship from the first date to a committed relationship. So if you don't have those tools, it's a disservice for me to sit you across from anybody. So again, they have to go through a coaching program with us.
But once they go through the coaching, like if it's matchmaking, like how are you pairing them? Like, do men come to you, and then do you take, like, is it like we have this bucket of men who's looking, we have this bucket of women, and we're gonna decide
so a lot of matchmakers do things differently. We're 12 plus years in at this point, so we've discovered early on that we don't match client to client. because when you just say, okay, we're going to match client to client, it has to be from this pool of people, and we're national. So we may match client to client, but we may have to go and actually heart hunt, we call it, on your behalf. So we might have to go and say, okay, let me go. We have recruiters that we call love liaisons that work for us. And so they're always social and out doing different things. So we may have to send them to a fraternity event. We may have to send them to golf, a golf outing, and bring us more singles that match their lifestyle.
Wow.
So yeah, we don't do client to client, but some matchmakers do.
Yeah. And how much are your services?
Anywhere from 5,000 to 25, 30,000. So, and it's funny that most of the time we have a waiting list for the premium service. So people at the time they come to us, they're like, look, I'm investing in this and I'm ready to do something different. So that's our ideal client, someone who's ready to do something different and listen. That's a whole different story.
Yeah, exactly. From that 5,000 to 25,000, like what are you committing to the client?
So let's just say this: there's no guarantees.
Right? Okay,
no guarantees.
Right. Yeah, in life there are no guarantees.
Right, no guarantees in life or this program.
Right.
So the only thing we can guarantee you is if you subscribe to a matchmaking program that we're going to pair you with somebody that you are compatible with, that we've uncovered, we've decided that together. This is who you need. We're going to pair you with somebody with that. But again, there are no guarantees, and we can't guarantee you you're going to get married or even in an exclusive relationship. Usually that's the goal, and we've been highly successful, about 89% success rate doing that. But it's not, an
89% success rate in people that you connect, they end up marrying.
Well, so they either end up in a relationship or end up marrying, because sometimes we get clients that come to us and they haven't had a date in 5 years or ever.
Oh,
we have virgins and absolutely
never had a kiss.
Never.
All of that.
Really?
Yes. And
Yeah,
I'm talking about high profile, but they've done so many things in their career and just kind of pushed love to the side.
So that's when the price goes up, because we're starting at we're starting at grassroots. Like we have to teach you from the bare bones, grassroots. So you've never had a kiss.
It's no judgment.
And so no judgment. So it's like, okay, let's take that in. Let's develop a program that's going to give you, okay, step 1, this is where we are. Step 2, this is, so again, that's how it works with us.
Yeah, let me give you the inside track though, that for matchmaking that people don't understand. When they hire us, they're like, okay, I want this, this, and this. But we, on the other side, don't know who's going to like you. Right. So it's like people want a guarantee, but we could have 10 people lined up. But if they don't, like you, because people are very particular, they may want somebody more curvy. They may want someone who's more outgoing. So, we can't guarantee. So that's why we don't do guarantees. Because they're like, okay, I want the 25,000 things, but we don't know. We may have those people. So like I said, we'll have to add to our inventory in our community. I'm
struck by you saying like matchmaking is not therapy. Because it's making me rethink some of the people I've seen on social media. Some of the stuff they're saying, I'm like, that you're just getting to the surface, but maybe that's what they're trying to do. A lot of times I think people's challenges in the dating world is because you haven't had that journey home to yourself. You haven't gotten to those inner wounds. You haven't unpacked, and a lot of your standards are rooted in shallow things because you don't even know who you are yet.
Yeah, you don't.
But you're saying, well, we don't do that. That's not what we do.
No, we have real life experiences, my husband and I have been together for 22 years. We just celebrated 22 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And how did y'all meet?
So I slid in his DM too. Listen, on Black Planet, like 20-something years ago.
That's a throwback.
20-something years ago. Yeah. And we've been rocking all this time. We went through some challenges. We separated for 2.5 years. So, we were kind of doing our own thing out there, getting our toes wet and other experiences for 2.5 years, and worked our way back together. So, there's some health challenges that were happening along the way. So when you talk about a couple that has been through it, we have
real life.
So, you can't sit in front of me and say, oh, you wouldn't believe, what I've been going through. Yes, we will. Sit between the two of us. Sit down.
Got cover, right?
We got you.
Yes,
sit down. There's nothing that our clients can come to us and say that they've gone through that we have an experience or help someone with it. And this is without us being credentialed, just because of life and and who we are, and using wisdom and discernment and all of those things, right?
Yeah, and I think thousands of clients later, we have so many different scenarios that we've learned from other people. So, we learn a lot from our clients too and their experiences. So, and my story is I was, divorced. I was married for many years, a single mother of 3. So after I was divorced, so my youngest was 2. I moved from New Jersey to Charlotte and started over. And so I was out in the dating streets as a single mom. So
Yeah.
this was a whole different, at that different season in my life, I had to rediscover myself and say, okay, who am I now? I'm different than when I, was single before. So just trying to rediscover who I was and showing up as a different person. So,
Yeah.
and with children. So that's a whole different
Yeah.
story, right? I have to
Yeah.
have
It's a different
babysitters lined up,
layer.
nannies, all of that stuff. So
And discernment around who's around your children.
exactly. And girls, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
not that, but definitely daughters. It was
Yeah.
just something where I'm like, okay, nobody can come into my space and I'm not introducing anybody until a certain time. So all of those things, when we come into, single parents that come to us, we both kind of can have conversations about that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think when I asked about success rate, because when you say younger people are coming now, and I think when 20 somethings, it's like maybe your success rate isn't like I ultimately want to get married to this person, because so much a part of dating is learning who you are, learning what you like, learning what works for you, learning how to establish boundaries,
Confidence.
Right.
Yeah, we work on confidence.
And
too.
self-love, like that's
Yes.
part of that journey home. Do you find a big difference between what younger women are looking for, like maybe if they're younger than 35, versus what a 55-year-old might be looking for?
There is a significant difference, and I'll tell you what. So, someone that's younger, what we've learned is that the younger women now are fast tracking as well. Like normally they have advanced degrees by the time they come to us, even at 30. They've already established in their career and they realize, you know what, I really want to get married and I really want children. And so they're like, let me try to expedite this process to see if I can get some support in doing that. But then we have our 55-year-olds, right? They're done having children. Maybe
Right.
they're on their second divorce and they're like, you know what, I don't even know what this looks like right now. This is so different from me dating today. I don't know what I'm doing. So I need some support in that. And yes, they may not necessarily want to be married, but they want a partner and a companion and that phase. So that generation.
Yeah, that retirement phase.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Do you
think that,
notice more?
the younger generation, I think the pace is definitely different. So when you talk about they have grown up with technology.
Yes.
So, they're dating online, they're texting, they're not having, real emotional connections. And so I think that's a lot of times where they struggle because it's like, okay, let me just see the next one. Let me do this. They're, dating someone, they can meet someone on a Tuesday. That doesn't work. I'm going to meet somebody else on a Friday. And so that's a little bit different where, the more seasoned generation, they come to us and they want to have that personal connection. They want to just say, okay, let's meet for dinner. Let's do, and then everybody else is moving so fast. So we almost have to speed up their pace because, they're wanting to just really have a genuine connection. But still, the pace of dating right now is a lot faster than, what they may have remembered.
What I notice a lot, and this is mostly from women younger than me and talking to them, finances seem to be a big deal. He got to make this much money, he has to do this.
Yeah.
And I just find as somebody a little old, I'm 45, as somebody who's, lived and had my own experiences, I wonder, and it's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with wanting your financial equal but I just wonder when it gets down to life, you talk about you and your husband going through hard times and some health challenges, and it's like, who is going to wipe your behind when you can't do that anymore?
Yes,
so
like,
true.
is it going to be the 7-figure dude who works all the time? And it might be.
Yeah, and 7 figures all the time, which we've realized doesn't mean they can be 7 figures in debt. And so we don't even take that. They're like, okay, it has to be this certain salary. And we say, wait a minute.
We don't include that.
It's not about the number.
Yeah.
Right? It's about the lifestyle. It's about who's there for you. It's
who's
about
financially responsible with that money.
And who has that emotional connection to withstand the ups and downs of, of dating and relationships and eventually marriage.
Right.
It's interesting because you were saying that, like, you really want someone that will wipe your behind. You know what I mean? And if something happens, that they're going to be there and they're not going to walk out and they're not going to leave, or, heaven forbid you get in a car accident and in a paralyzed or in a wheelchair. Anything can happen. It's happened in my family. It's happened in our life. And so, you want someone that's going to, say, I'm rocking with you. I committed to this and I'm rocking with you. I'm rolling with you all the way to the end. Like, we're going to die married to each other.
Yeah.
And what if
that's
they
how
lose
we
their
feel in
job,
my house.
right?
Yeah, that's how we're rolling. We're going to die married to each other. No, we're going to die married to each other. Whatever it is, we're going to fix it, work it out. And we have issues too, but no, we rocking to the end.
Well, I want you to share what you feel comfortable sharing.
Yeah.
But what was the most challenging time in your marriage? Whatever you feel comfortable sharing.
Yeah. So, oh gosh. So I would start with, we had you know, we're a blended family. So we had a blended family of 5. I came in the relationship with 2 boys, and then, and my husband was raising 3 children from his previous marriage, and 2 were biologically his, and then the oldest daughter was his ex-wife's daughter from her first relationship, but he had all 3.
Yeah.
So we were a whole blended family, like the
Yeah.
Brady Bunch almost. And so we had some personality conflicts early on. And then we had
With the children or with you guys or
with
everybody?
with everybody,
Okay.
everybody. And then we later, I traveled a lot for work. We had some infidelity in our marriage on both sides. What else? My husband had a stroke. So when we took a separation for 2.5 years, and worked our way back together, 8 months later, he had a massive stroke. And so, you know, I had people saying, you know, well, you should just bounce now. And I was like, no, you know what? We worked for this. We put this marriage back together. I'm rocking to the end.
Yeah.
So, and that's, so until he was better, until he was able, and he has, you know, a disability and some slight paralysis on the right side, but we're rocking. He drives. We have an active life, you know? So yeah, it's what it is. But that was, you know, that was a very difficult time in our marriage. And I think for me, being able to transfer from being a caregiver, being a wife, to a caregiver, back to being a wife. So that was the transition that was like, whoa, life-changing for me personally.
What you're describing is love.
Yeah.
I think what I hear a lot of people desiring is a long first date. And, you know, because you're not really ready for that stroke conversation. You know, you ain't ready to be wiping some feet with somebody.
Exactly. You didn't sign up for all that, right?
On and off the toilet. And that is like, that's grown women speak.
Yes.
So I'm so grateful to you for trusting this platform to share the intimacies of your marriage. I think that's what people want to hear. What for you, is you're early on. And so but I hear this is your second marriage, so it's a little different, but I hear like that first year can be challenging, but this is your second go round. So what's been the most challenging part for you?
Well, I'm thinking of the most challenging part overall. And I was just thinking of the time when, you know, just being divorced. And I was talking about being suddenly this single mom that had relocated and starting over again and being back into the dating world. I was like, you know, trying to fight not being bitter Betty, right? So I was so resentful that, okay, well, he's not here, you know, he's not able to help with the children. I'm lugging them all around. And that can impact your dating life too. So, you know, you're showing up mad at the world, you know, mad at men. And, you know, so I think just doing that whole internal work spiritually, mentally working out, just trying to find the confidence and the fun in life again, because bringing that to somebody is not helpful. So that was really the most challenging part, is making that transition and really rediscovering myself to be able to, you know, be that fun part. And actually it was more fun discovering this next part of my life than, you know, but it was definitely a journey that, you know, we always welcome, you know, helping people through. Yeah. So that was definitely the hardest part.
For the people who aren't, you have said 89% success rate. For the people who are not successful, what has been the challenge there?
I think one of the biggest challenges is that they come and they just want to, like Tana mentioned, just give us a check and say, hey, you have this crystal ball, just find me this man, or this woman. And they don't want to listen. They don't want to make any changes. If you come to us and it's already not working, then, you know, we realize it's probably not going to work anyway, because you're not really willing to make any changes. And so I think that's really the biggest challenge. And people, a lot of times that come to us, they're pretty powerful, you know, in work and life. And so they have to, so what we've done over time, we've decided, okay, this is not our ideal client. It's just not our ideal client. So we may not even take them on if we realize that they're not someone who's going to be willing to make a change.
And do they get a refund?
No.
No
refunds.
Ain't no refunds.
No refunds.
Okay. And what are some things that you look for when taking on a client? Like, well, do you have more men or women?
We have more men.
More men who come
more
to
women.
you?
I'm sorry, more women. Yeah, we
Okay.
have more women that come to us. So things that we look for that would identify if they're a great client. Was that the question?
Yeah. Like, what's your
If they would
intake?
be a good,
You know, if
somebody that's going to listen. Someone that.
But how do you determine that? Do you say, are you a good listener?
Yeah, so we do, but we ask probing questions. Again, we're
like
certified coaches. Well, we ask about their familial history. We ask about what contribution did they have to the failed relationship previously. Now, if they're willing to admit something or be like, nah, it was just them, or it was this, and everybody else
Red
is
flag.
just, they're not going to work for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. ask them, are you coachable? Will you listen to us as experienced expert from a highly sought after agency in this country? You came to us for a reason. Are you going to listen? They're like, I might give you some pushback. We don't want, we don't need that, because you have to be, this is your investment. If you want this to work, this is how we do it. This is how we run our business. This is how we've been successful. So either you're going to trust us with it or not. Trust us with the journey. Now, those who trust us with the journey they usually win. They usually say, you know what? I'm going to hand it off to you. I have no idea what I'm doing. I haven't been successful. Do what you do. And those are the ones that they're open,
every
optimistic,
time.
And those are the ones that win every single time.
Yeah.
I mean, you're dealing with people who can afford to pay $25,000.
And they drop it.
Yeah, and I'm saying though, these are type A personalities.
Yeah.
You know, these are
most
people.
successful
Yes.
in something. Yes,
for sure.
We
For
like
sure.
they have coordinated their life
Right.
in a certain way, and they were successful professionally because they were the quarterback on everything.
Yeah,
and they're like, I got this figured out. So I would imagine it's challenging to tell a woman like that.
It is. But what we tell them is, look how long it's taken you to get where you are. So that wasn't overnight. So this is a process too, that you have to be willing to take that journey to, learn some new skills, try something different, maybe date somebody you wouldn't, have normally met. Yeah. And just kind of go from there.
Yeah.
I mean, you want something different to happen, right? And this is your end goal. Allow us to help you reach that end goal. It hasn't worked for you all this time on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trust an expert.
Well, there are a lot of people out there too, because I'm aware that to some people listening, this may sound like a very elitist conversation, and like love is not exclusive to, people who make 6 and 7 figures and, have degrees or advanced degrees. And so I'm curious what advice you might give somebody in your, the age range of your clientele who can't afford $5,000 or $50, but they too desire partnership. What piece of advice would you give them?
Yeah, I would say just being more open. Sometimes, people come to us for many different challenges. One, maybe they don't have, the confidence to have a conversation. Maybe go out and have, give 100 smiles today. Maybe whatever it is that you're challenged with, maybe go ahead and challenge yourself to do things differently. Maybe you've been dating the same type of person all the time. So go to different places, go a different way home, go to different communities and different events that you wouldn't normally have gone to. So you have to, whatever it is, you have to make a shift.
You said be more open, and I didn't ask you all. Do you all mostly deal with Black folks?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, y'all exclusive to Black folks.
We're not exclusive to Black,
okay.
but that's the majority of our business.
Okay, well, I like that. So when you say be more open, what do you say about dating outside the race?
So here's the thing. I've always said it, and Kelli and I both say it, that your gift may be wrapped in a different package or bow. So I think it's important that you be open just in case, right? And so, but most of our clients come to us, they want a Black man or they want a Black woman. And here's what we have found is that even the men that have come to us recently, they're saying, you know what, ladies, you guys are my last stop before I go overseas. Because my friends are doing it. They're going overseas, going to the DR or wherever, and they're bringing back a wife because they're like, we can't find what we're looking for here or whatever. We're like, just give us a shot. We have so many. Yes.
These are the private
conversations.
These are the private conversations
like
you don't want to know about.
You don't want to know about this conversation. And we're saying,
prevalent.
you know what? We're almost pleading with them. We're like, you know what? Just give us an opportunity. And the ones that trust us with it, we had a marriage last October. We have one coming up this February, and there's another one coming up this June. They've trusted us, but they have each come to us and said, you all are my last stop.
This is what I don't like about that. It sounds petulant almost.
It's tough. Because we're two Black women. It's tough to hear.
It's tough to hear.
So
but is there, I don't want to be dismissive of these brothers because it's their feelings, but it does sound petulant to me, like, you guys didn't have what I wanted, so I'm leaving, and it's like, what kind, like, how is that
like
living
throwing tantrums and running off?
Right. Like, you got a Black mama, Black sister, maybe Black daughter. Like, how is that living in service to our community? I don't like it, but
But
y'all
let me just
hard.
tell you this though. Let's be clear, because if we're being transparent on this platform, we can be rough sometimes. Say
more about that.
Let me tell you something. So we're Black women. We love our sisters, and we started this business for us. You know. So, but some of us can be a bit much. Like, we come with so many lists of demands. We come with expecting to be the passenger princess or to be this and that, and not really wanting to give a part of of ourselves into the relationship. And so some men are just tired of it. That's what they're telling us. They're tired
Well,
of
you
it.
know what? Yeah. And I think too, it's a lot of coaching that we do, that
Yeah.
we really do coach, because a lot of times when you think of it as Black girls, and I can't speak to everybody's experience, but of course, we've grown up, Black girls, a lot of times it's what you hear from your family, what you hear from your friends, and, go get your education, do that. Don't worry about a man.
Mhm.
Even younger, like I said, I have 3 daughters. So just watching them going to predominantly white schools, where we lived, just watching the whole dynamic of dating, the parents of the friends would be like, oh, so-and-so's, boyfriend's coming over. And then for us, it's like, oh no, you're not dating. Don't even look at anybody, that type of thing. So the difference in growing up is
Cultural.
almost letting them know that you can be loving and all of that. And nobody gives us permission at any time to be like, you know what, now you can be sexy. Now you can be loving, all of that. So it's really us giving us and our sisters permission to be sexy, permission to be fun, all of those things. Nobody ever tells you when to turn the switch off.
No.
Yeah.
Right?
I think, but honestly, that sounds like that is rooted in your journey home to self-love.
Yes.
And if you're doing that for the sole purpose of attracting a partner, I'm not sure how sustainable that is. Like there has to be a component to, I'm bringing love to myself. I love myself. And if I so happen to find a partner, great. If I want to be intentional to use this matchmaking service, great. And I'm struck by what you're saying about some of these men, because I think about us as a people, but I'll talk about Black women and all of our beauty and all of our glory and all of our pain and our trauma and our agony and all that we carry. Black men, I know y'all carry pain too. We carry it with you.
Yes, we do.
And so if you want to go out and date a non-Black or non-Black American woman, don't involve us in that. You doing that because that's what you want to do. That you don't, but don't involve, because there are all types of Black women. We're not a homogenous group of people. We have, certainly there are commonalities with us, but this whole idea of, well, this group of Black women I dated, I don't like, so I'm gonna go outside and do this.
Right.
You doing that because you want to do that.
Yeah.
That ain't got nothing to
blame
do
it
with
on
it.
us.
Right.
Like, don't blame it on us.
Keep your trauma over there.
Don't blame it on-
Because all we ever wanted to do was love y'all.
Just
Oh,
love
always.
them.
From the
We
beginning,
love
yeah.
them so
So
much,
miss
and
me
nobody's
with
going to
that.
support them like us.
Right.
But
You
I
know
will
what I
say
mean?
we have to
Right.
be more free in the dating process. Like even
What does
from
that
date
mean?
one, it's okay to give him a compliment. It's okay to say, "Ooh, you are handsome. Ooh, you smell great." Like it's okay. I think a lot of times we kind of hold it back culturally. It's like, okay, let me just wait. I'm going to wait. And then when he proves himself, I'm going to just unleash this whole Pandora's box. And that's not how the trend of dating is. Whether we want to move it that way or not, we have to go with the trend. The trend is first date, second date, give some feedback. Like, I'm so proud of you. That's what they're looking for on both sides. So a lot of times they'll leave a date and they'll say, well, I don't even know if she liked me or not. I don't really.
Yeah.
And so she hadn't said anything. She comes back and tells us, oh my God, he was fine. We had a great time. He made me laugh. No, tell him. Tell him from date one. Don't
What I
tell
hear
us.
is fear.
Yes.
Well, you
Rejection,
know, yes.
fear, all of those things.
Yeah.
Only because, we don't want to be perceived a certain way, right? So you hear this term, oh, I don't want to look too thirsty, or I don't want to be aggressive, or I don't want to appear a certain way. It is okay you're not thirsty, you're interested.
Yeah.
Right. And those are the women that win every time, you know, because they're showing interest. You know how many men tell us, like, I love it when a woman compliments me, or I love it when she initiates the conversation, or she asks for my number. They love it. They
and
do.
it's confidence
okay
in
to do
yourself.
it.
It's confidence in
is.
yourself that
Yes.
I might not like you, but I could say you hanging that suit, brother.
Right.
You know?
Yes. You
but-
look great. That color
You're
looks
gonna have
great
the
on you.
option.
Mhm.
So the woman that embraces that, she has the option to
Yeah.
say yay or nay.
What do you say to women about sex?
Oh, ooh, well. So again, with as far as sex, we have some clients that end up, they have a first date on Friday and they're still together on Monday, because they've gotten it in all weekend long.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? That's on them. But what we do tell them is that just know that if you initiate sex early, there's an expectation. You can't really get that back. So again, you've already embarked into a different sphere, and the relationship may shift or change, and it may be for the better and it may not be. But just so you understand that you're making a responsible decision based on what you feel in this very moment.
Yeah.
But you're grown.
Yeah. As long at 55.
You're grown.
I don't know if you can tell a 55-year-old a 3-month
Yeah,
rule.
I'm not
Right.
waiting at 55.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not waiting at 55.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
If
I'm
you you
not
want to
doing
get it
that.
in at that
Mhm.
point,
Yeah.
you have to.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Do you
Right.
the same thing?
Well, the thing, I mean, we've seen both. We've seen sometimes, like you said, somebody who hasn't had a date in a minute, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Look, I need it all. Like, I don't even
Yeah.
care." But then we do have some clients that come to us because they keep sleeping with someone too early, and they're
Mm.
never taken seriously. So in
Yeah.
that case, I wouldn't suggest it because you're starting this cycle that we want them to see how
Uh-huh.
amazing you are without
What
sex.
would you say is too early?
Well, I'm talking about date one or two,
Yeah.
and it's just
Yeah.
continue. And it just depends. I think it's more with confidence
Mhm.
because they're thinking, okay, this is going to keep him or this is going to keep her. That's not what you're doing it
It
for.
won't.
Right.
It
Mm-mm.
won't.
Well, I don't care if it's been 2 days, 2 months, or 2 years. If
Right.
you're having sex with anybody to keep them,
Yes.
no.
Uh-huh.
again, like
No.
all
It's
of
a
this,
dime a dozen. So you're
right?
not,
Yeah.
I wish we were, all special like
Yeah.
that.
It just comes
That's
back to
not the reason that
confidence.
they're
Yeah.
staying.
Mhm.
But all of the honestly, with hearing you guys talk about some of these things, all of this comes back to me as
Mhm.
brokenness.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know,
Uh-huh.
and I think our brokenness in this country is very unique.
Mhm.
And we have navigated this space of being told that we are unintelligent,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that we are
Unattractive.
unattractive,
Mhm.
Yes.
unmarriable,
Not very
or
soft. All of those
overly
things. Mhm.
sexualized. We
Yep.
can take it back to the plantation
Yep.
on how
Right.
Black men
Absolutely.
were lusted after and lynched,
Mhm.
how Black women were raped and
Rapes. Yes.
beaten and
Mhm.
bruised by oppressors, and we carry that into these spaces of love, and that's really what I would like us to see change. You know,
Absolutely.
or we have to be the
Absolutely.
change. Like, how can we change that? So I get matchmaking, like, yes, because Black love is defiance.
It's
So when we love
Mhm.
each other,
It's
like, what a
amazing.
beautiful
There's
thing
nothing
that
more
is. Right.
powerful.
There's
There's nothing more
nothing
powerful than that.
like it. I'm so
Yeah.
proud of our culture.
Yes.
And I'm so proud to be just to be a part of it, to be a contributor to our culture and promoting Black love and Black families. That's probably the most rewarding part of this business for us. For me, I can say for me, because we have contributed to these Black families, to
Yeah,
this Black
that's one.
love.
Yeah.
That's one thing I didn't realize when we started the business.
Mhm.
Those things that come up later that we're actually contributing to healthy families and healthy
Mhm.
relationships. A lot of people come to us and they've never seen a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever it might be, whether their parents were divorced or the dad wasn't there or the mom wasn't there, and they're like, you know what? I just need to help. Your help helping me to reimagine what a healthy. I don't
Mhm.
even know what a healthy relationship looks like. I'm going on these dates, but I don't even know how to
Sure.
show up myself.
Yeah.
And so it's a safe space for us to dream.
Yeah.
Like dream what type of girlfriend you want to be, dream what
Mhm.
type of wife you want to be, dream how you want to show up for your children. And that way that confidence comes back where you go on a date and he's like, well, what are you looking for? You've already dreamt it. You've already imagined
Mhm.
it and you have a chance to communicate what it is that you're looking for. So that confidence comes in a way that he's like, ooh, this is a package I'm looking for because you
Yeah.
know what you're, and it's not
Yeah.
somebody kind of helping you to define it. And then you go down this rabbit hole of going down something that you're not looking for. Everybody has a dream. So we
Yeah.
want them to have a dream as well.
If you could go back and talk to, let's say, your 21-year-old self,
Mhm.
you're about to venture on this journey of dating and life and love,
Mm-hmm.
what advice would you give yourself at 21?
That's great. So let's see. At 21, I think I was looking more for fun, the fun side. I was looking for somebody fine. I had a great career. I had plenty of money at that time, which was great, living on my own. I just was looking for somebody. It wasn't really like a long-term type of thing. I just wanted to say, ooh, I like looking at him type of thing. And if we had a good time together, that was great. But now I realize that we're going through that longevity. Someone who has some integrity at the core. All of those things are important. They really are. So
Well, what would you say to your 21-year-old self if you can go back?
I'd say look for fun, but also look in the perimeter of the room. It's not always that one that's standing in the middle that, everybody's eyes are on. So
Yeah.
around the perimeter, there are some gems. So
Yeah.
that's what I
Yeah.
would look for.
Mhm.
What would you say?
Yeah, gosh, I would say back to my 21-year-old self. I was not the confident woman that I am today. And I think that uncovering those insecurities much earlier on and working on them. Once I worked on those insecurities, I arrived into, this confident woman standing before you. I just feel like I wish I would have done that much earlier. Just knowing that a man doesn't complete me at an early age. I think that culturally we would think that, the goal is to be a mom and the goal is to be married and well, that's a goal for some, right? And I think it was my goal. However, I wanted to be complete before that, not him completing me. So I would love for the 21-year-olds to uncover what their challenges are, work on those before they embark on any type of relationship.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's such good advice.
Mhm.
This has been such a great conversation with you
Yeah,
ladies. I
this
definitely
is so
learned a
good.
lot. It's been insightful because I
Yeah,
didn't even
great.
know matchmaking
Yeah.
was a thing in the
Yes,
community.
It's a
But I
whole
love,
thing.
and I
It's a
love the
whole-
spin that you put on it, that we're creating Black families and
Yes.
We
helping.
are.
That is,
We are.
it's had such credo in our
Mhm.
community and
Thank
been
you.
our
The
safety.
silver lining
Yes.
that we discovered.
That's
Yes.
why
But
we do
safety
it.
with each other. We
Yes.
find safety with each other. So
Mhm.
if you are out there looking for love, I think these ladies just gave some great advice. And the advice I would give, I'm not a matchmaker or an expert, so take this as you will, but build the life that you want. A phrase that is commonly used, this is not an original for me, but the love of your life should be the love of your life.
Mhm.
And you have to know where to put that emphasis. The love of your life should be the love of your life. And then you attract love to
Yeah,
you. So if
I
you
like that.
become love instead of trying to seek love, I hope that love will be attracted to you. So thank you for tuning into this
Thank
episode of
you.
Across Generations. And we will see you back next week with an all new episode.